Hi everyone, thanks so much for coming back. This week we have Stuart and Denise Fergus on the show. Thanks so much for coming.
You're welcome.
So let's would you mind if we talk a little bit about James, like his memories and happy memories, and what was he like as a child?
James was just really outgoing. He loved making people laugh.
Yeah.
He loved playing with kids, and he was just a normal child who just enjoyed the short life that he had.
Yeah.
He loved being around his nieces and nephews. I say he was always dancing. Every time his hair was that soft, every time he danced around, his hair would bounce everywhere, and he was just such a lovely little boy to be around. As I say, he wanted to make everyone laugh, and which he did. I mean, he lit up a room every time he walked in, just by his smile.
Yeah.
It wasn't very often that you heard James cry.
He was a happy child.
When he was a baby, I must admit he was a terrible crier. But I mean, it wasn't through his own fault. He did get colic, and every parent knows, what that's like.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just loved entertaining. And that's why I want to keep his name and memory alive, because they're the thoughts that I've got and I'll always have. No one can take them away from me.
Yeah.
But just to have the charity in his name is just a massive achievement in itself.
It is, it's huge.
I mean, I can't do nothing to get James back, but through his name I can help other kids out there.
Yeah, massively. I think it's amazing what you're doing. I think, like, after everything you have been through, and you still are going through, to be able to give back and kind of keep that ongoing, and almost it's not a positive by any stretch of the imagination, but it is so inspirational for myself and anybody watching that you've found this strength to keep doing this and carrying on, like, all the positives about him. What about the book, Denise? You've done a book recently. When did you bring that out? Was it 2 years ago?
It's 2 years ago now,
yeah. I haven't read it myself. I do want to read it, though. Again, the link's going to be on there for people that want to buy it. How have you found the book? Like, how did you find writing the book and things like that?
Do you know, I thought it was a lot better than it was actually going to be. It took me a long time to put my head around into putting. I was always asked to do a book, but I was always said it wasn't the right time for me to do it. I just felt when I was asked the last time to do the book, then I thought now is the time to do it. If I don't do it now, I'm never going to do one, and people want to know, what I've been up to since James's death and, things like that. So I decided to do it, and I found it really... not relaxing, that's the wrong word to use, but...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Your memories start fading, you start forgetting the little things.
So is it bringing back all the good stuff?
As I was talking more and more about James, things were coming back to me, which made me... And I'd walk away from, talking about James, with writing the book, and I'd feel good in myself, because them memories were starting to come back. And now, if I feel they're fading again, it's all written down.
It's all written down for you, yeah.
So, I mean, the ghostwriter that I had as well, Carly, she was such a lovely person. She said, I don't want you to go back to, the dark days. She said, I will write all that for you. She said, you just read over it and you okay it.
That's good.
So that's the way we worked it. And, we had more laughs than... In fact, I don't think I ever got upset once. I think that there was a couple of things where...
When I read the book first
did
of all.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, did you read it, Stuart?
I had to proofread it for her.
Right.
And I'd say, I was sitting in the office because I thought, I'll take myself away from the house and not just go and sit in the office. And I was basically, when I was reading through it, I was even sobbing myself, and that isn't me. And
that must be so hard, for you to have sat there.
It's a strange situation, because obviously a lot of people go, you've been there for Denise, and obviously I never knew Denise in them days. It was only obviously a few years afterwards when I met Denise. And even though she talks about it, and I've seen it at the lowest, I've seen obviously when we've had to fight in Strasbourg and stuff like that back in 2001 and stuff, it shows she's got a hardened side to her, she's got resilience to her. But then to actually see the emotions of it come out in a book, and the photos and the words.
The book's totally different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's there in black and white, isn't it? So you kind of you feel it almost a bit more, don't you, when you're reading it?
You said that yourself, didn't you? You found it quite strange. Obviously, you're reading the book, but your mind goes into thinking, it's someone else's life.
You don't think it's about you. Although you've lived it, you feel like you're reading about someone else.
Yeah. Do you find it weird when people talk to you about it? Obviously my book's completely different to yours, but like when people do talk to you about books and like what you've written, you almost forget that it's actually about what yourself and what your life's been like.
Well, yeah, because you haven't actually sat and written it yourself. It's just being like all done for you, and then the final cover comes across and you okay everything that's, you know, at each stage that comes through the book. And then when you finally see the done deal of it, you just think, wow, that this just, I mean, it was James's face on the cover, and that's what stands out, but that's what my life is all about, is James. But if that hadn't have happened to James, I wouldn't have had to do the stuff that I've had to do.
It would have been completely different, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't have, I mean, I don't know what life I would have been living now. But I'm happy in my life. I've got Stuart and I've got me 3 other boys who I absolutely adore.
How old are your 3 other sons?
I feel old now saying this. I've got a 20-year-old, 21-year-old and a 26-year-old.
Keep you on your toes.
Oh, definitely do. All boys as well, you know. I tried to get a football team, but that didn't work. No, I just absolutely idolise the lads, and they know that. But for everything that I do, I put it to them first.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't go off and do my own thing. I tell them what I've got plans, and if I see that they don't like anything that I'm saying, then I won't do it. Yeah. I've got to have the, you know, they've got to be happy.
Almost.
Yeah, they've got to be happy with what I'm doing.
Like a family decision, isn't it?
Especially it's something as big as the book, because when I was first asked to do the book this time round and I decided to do it, I did say to the boys, you know, if you don't want me to do it, I won't. Yeah. That is not a problem for me. You know, it's not something that, you know, I've ever done before, and I'm not going to miss not doing it. Yeah. But they said, you know, it's about time you did do something like that. That's people so nice. Are wanting to see what you're doing. And that's how it all come about. And my eldest, Michael, he has a little say in the book as well, which I was quite thankful for. I definitely need to read it. I'm going to get a coffee. He's not the he won't do interviews or nothing like that, and I wouldn't force it onto him. He keeps himself to himself, and you know.
Well, you're his mum, aren't you? So it's a bit, it's personal. It's something he obviously wanted to do just with you.
But I've always protected them anyway, and I did say to him, if he didn't want to part in the book, then that's not a problem either. He doesn't have to. Yeah. But he was willing to do it. He said, as long as I don't have to do interviews, this, that, and the other. And I've always protected them from stuff like that. So I said to him, no, if you're willing to have a little bit of say in the book, then that's fine. You won't have to do nothing beyond that.
That's so special. And I don't want to say I can't wait to read it, but I definitely want even more so now that I've followed you for so long now, Denise, and your story and everything. And one of the reasons why I wanted you on here is because I have to be careful what I say, because you know you can't say anything that's not a fact and whatever. But I've just found the whole, can I say injustice? I feel like it's injustice.
There's been no justice for James whatsoever.
No.
There's only one thing that I asked for, and that was for them to have a proper sentence in a prison. And I've never ever said, and I can't say this enough, every interview I've done, I've said it, I think. I didn't expect them to throw away the key. I knew one day that they'd walk again. But at least they would have had some justice for James if they'd have spent time in an adult prison. But they never have done. They got put into children's secure unit, where they got the best of everything, so there's no justice there again. In fact, I feel that they've been rewarded for the crime that they committed, not punished. They were never ever punished. So, I mean, some people are saying, well, you know, they did spend time in prison. No, they didn't.
Who says that?
There is
Who even has the nerve to say that?
I mean, because obviously I check the social media for the charity, and obviously for Denise, and obviously in with James's name. And the amount of people that do say that, oh, you know, they did serve 8 years in prison. You go, they never, in actual fact, they never even served 8 years. It was 7 years.
Why are people even voicing their opinion on that? Why would you even voice your opinion on that? If you've not been in that situation yourself, you have absolutely no rights to be saying those kind of things.
It's only a select few, but I mean,
do you think they're trolls? Do you think they actually believe
these are the do-gooders who believe in second chances and stuff like that. But in my eyes, they have been given second chances, if not more.
They've had more than second.
But no, I mean, I've always said if there's a fight there for James, of course I'm going to fight it, and I don't care if it takes me to my dying day. I will always fight.
It's just so I don't even know. It's difficult to even voice, because I have so much opinion on it, so I can't even begin to think.
Yeah, well, you've had it down the line, haven't you? It's like obviously when Denise has done various TV programmes, the directors, producers being that worried in case she says something, stuff like that. They done pre-record just to make sure the lawyers can watch it quickly, make sure there's no libel. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I try not to say anything that is going to get anyone into trouble through interviews. That's my biggest fear, is if I'm doing live TV and I come out with something that I'm not meant to do, which I haven't done touch wood up to now.
I don't think you ever would now. Like,
I think you're media savvy now too.
Yeah.
Because even like going back years ago, we had the head of Merseyside Police, Bernard Hogan Howe. He was part of the original charity, wasn't he? And even he said us as top cops, and obviously any police officer, they get media trained, they get told what to say, how to say it. He said, you were just thrown, limelike's the wrong word, but you were basically just thrown before the world's media, get on with it.
And it's a scary place to be anyway. It's a scary place to be for somebody who's not in that world and in a positive light. So for you, that must have just been completely daunting and just nerve-wracking in itself, constantly having to talk and things like that. It's
more scary as well when you look out your window and you see the world and its press outside your door. You can't get your head around that.
It's not
their fault. It's their job to do that, and I get that. In the beginning, and I never got any peace. But I mean, it comes to a point where I was sitting in a dark living room just with the side lamp, because I'd have to keep the curtains closed. And that happens all over the house. I'd have to keep all the curtains closed, just because if I wanted to go upstairs, then you could get pictures of me going up the stairs, or it was especially when I had Michael as well. Everyone wanted a picture of Michael, and I think that was
really
the most scariest, because I had to protect this little person that was in my life again. So I had to try and keep Michael away from windows, and they were wanting interviews. But again, I get that with the press, because it's their job, and that's what they're doing, is their job. They've been sent out to do it. I just wanted to be left alone.
Yeah.
It was my press agent, Chris Johnson, at the time. He did get in touch with the media to say, listen, if you don't get away from a door, or you don't get away from house, she's not giving you any interview whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
you've needed that upper hand to kind of tell people to back off, haven't you?
Because obviously before I met you, you used to say like one of your brothers, she'd have to phone a brother and he'd come running around. Because you had the cameras. And in them days, you had like 2 foot wide hedges in the front. And they'd be poking the camera lenses through that, trying to get the pictures. But then saying that the last time, which we talk about the person that's been sent to prison for child abuse images, the last time he was sent down for it, you went to bed again, knocked tonight off the press, and I was like, oh, you won't. It's getting late on now. And let's see, 10:30, 11 o'clock, our dog started barking. There's 2 fellas outside. 11 o'clock at night, and I was like...
But I just knew anyway. I did say to Stuart, we need to get the boys upstairs. I said, because that door is going to start going. And he went, no, it's a different way of life. And I went, no, we need to get them upstairs. And, we took them upstairs and we put the telly on in our room so they didn't feel like anything was different. Or
Yeah.
Well, they were made up. They had sweets and crisps and drinks and watching all the...
Like an adventure to
them. Yeah.
But, they were like, who's at the door? And we say, don't worry about it, they're just asking for someone that doesn't live here. It's okay, don't worry. But, I mean, we tried to play it down.
Well, even when the neighbours came out, and even they said to him, again, can't say obviously the words because it's on a podcast, but even they basically chased down the path singing, you bang out of order this time.
Yeah.
There's ways and means of trying to contact people.
Yeah, of course there is. Yeah, you've got agents, you've got ways and means
social media.
You've got social media, everyone can speak through social media. That's how we've connected, isn't it? Denise, do you mind if we touch on the fact that you've done the documentary with Trevor McDonald, but people have gone ahead and done unofficial documentaries, haven't they? What's happened with that? Have you been informed that it's going on, or...?
Not really, no. I do sometimes get told if there's something going to be aired, but it's not all the time. And I think the biggest kick in my teeth was... I mean, I didn't really want to bring this up, but the fella who made the short film...
The film, yeah.
I didn't even know that was happening. It was already made. Yeah, so for him to do that, not even get in touch with me, even when he was getting interviewed, I mean, the interviewers were asking him the question, did you get in touch with James's parents?
He dodged it, didn't he?
And
I went round it.
Yeah, and I even said, you know what, meet up with me, you know, let's talk about what you've done, and, you know, let me tell you what you've done wrong.
For him to not come to you and speak about doing the film, that is an admission in itself that he knows he's doing something wrong.
It's a sign of guilt, yeah.
Yeah, you would come and
but
speak.
But he wouldn't even meet up with me. I wrote him a letter to say what he'd done was totally wrong. If he'd told me what he was done, then, you know, as I said to him, you know, probably, yeah, go ahead and do it, but don't do it the way he'd done it. You know,
why would he not just work with you on it?
Exactly. You know, and I mean, I wouldn't have dismissed it straight away. I would have said, let me hear your ideas and let me know what you want to do first before, you know, we get involved in this or have anything to do with it. But for him not to do that, just to go off and make it himself, that was about my son. It's not his son, not his kids. He was my kid.
He
had no right to do that.
No. What's happened with that?
Well,
I mean, I've never seen anything.
I'm hoping it's a flop because, you know, I think he tried to make a big name for himself because of it, but I think it backfired as well because a lot of people did.
He portrayed himself because it was up for the Short Film Awards and the Oscars, and he was pictured with obviously some of the young actors, you know, there at the awards, and you're just like...
It must have been a flop because the amount of stick, I was like, I saw all the stick he was getting. I thought, who the hell is going to... I mean, obviously some people would have watched it, but who's going to watch that when James's own mother is saying, I haven't okayed this, he hasn't spoken to me. And then in his own interviews, he went round the houses, didn't he, when he was asked about, has he spoken to you and stuff? He just kind of...
He kept on dodging it, yeah. But I don't think he's done himself any favours by doing that. I'd say he should have worked with me, not against me. Well, it's not even working against me because I knew nothing about it.
No.
Nothing about it at all. And I can't even remember, was it Kim that said to me, oh, she sent it to you, didn't she?
I think there's a newspaper, again, media finds out first, isn't it? They approached about saying, oh, there's a short film, blah, 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 blah. What's your comment on it? And we're like, what's this?
Is that how you found out... Is that how you found out everything? Every time something's happened, another form of injustice. Is this how you're finding out in a newspaper?
9 times out of 10, yeah.
It's like especially over his arrest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Although I can say obviously it says name Venables because obviously that's known. Literally, and we have this joke between me and Denise. I call her Detective Denise because she can watch a film, she can watch a programme. It might be a 5-6 part series. You go, so and so done this, and that's what's happened. And lo and behold, I guess into the programme.
I don't like spoiling it for them.
Yeah. But one day we had a couple of police officers and someone from the probation service come out and just went, he's done something wrong, hasn't he? And we can't comment on it. She's like, you're coming out to tell me this because it's going to hit the media. Can't comment on it.
You're saying only a handful of people know, and you know it's not going to come out in the news. And I went, God, and say by tea time this is going to be in the news.
It was a bit late.
And it was.
Yeah, and it was.
It was just a bit late.
It was on Sky.
It's like you've got a sixth sense almost now. Like,
all I wanted to know is, I did say, just tell me he hasn't hurt anyone else. That was the first question I asked. Tell me he hasn't hurt anyone else. And they said, well, we can't really say. And I went, don't come to my house with half a story.
What they come to your house for?
Yeah,
just to tell me that it'd been recorded. I know it's not their fault. They're just, you know, they're getting...
No, I suppose like it's their neck on the line, isn't it? Obviously.
Well, again, there's a case, obviously, again, same things. If something got wrong, got said.
They're just getting told what to say as well. Be careful what you say in front of it, this, that and the other. And, you know, I totally get that. But as just said, just answer that one question. Just tell me he hasn't hurt anyone else. And she just reassured me and said he hasn't.
Well, that's good. Well, not good, but it's good that she actually did come out and give you that form of reassurance. Yeah. So, let's talk about the positives and what both of you are doing now, your charity, and a little bit why you're doing it and things like that.
God, we're doing quite a lot at the moment, aren't we? We've got so much lines up throughout the year, which we try and keep busy through the year to raise awareness and, you know, raise funds for the charity, which we have in James's name. Our next big event's coming up really soon. It's our black tie event. It's one of the biggest that we have throughout the year. It's to mark what would have been James's birthday, and it's a big one coming up in March. He would have been 30. So that's going to be a special one for us. Then after that, we've got like skydives, swim with sharks. We have Kids Fest, which is another big thing that we have at Stanley Park and by where we live. And then we've got what do we have after that? There's that many.
Much on your mind, isn't it? One of the reasons, obviously, we have got that many events on, but one of the reasons why we set up the charity is obviously over the years, Denise has been approached by other charities to help out, do this, do that, and you've always loved doing it, haven't you? Yeah. In the end, before.
So why not do it yourself? Yeah.
Exactly. So we sat down, we had a group of trustees, and then we're trying to decide what to do about the charity, what ideas should we have, and exactly what website it should be under. Yeah. So we had ideas like, we'll do this for James, we'll do that for James, and then that's where we got the idea from for the website. When did it start? No, when did you start the charity? The idea was originally 2010. Okay. So by the time obviously people would understand the charities and regulations will know it takes that long to get everything sorted. Yeah. So 2011 the charity properly launched. Fab. So yeah, it's been going 9 years. We started off with ideas of offering holidays and little breaks away to families. Yeah, I've seen that. So what kind of families are you helping? Who's coming forward to, work with you and stuff? We've got a wide spectrum of families, haven't we? We wanted to open to as many families as possible. So originally it started off Northwest based. So it's any families going through bereavement. Yeah. Exactly what Denise has gone through. Families who've got care for parents or siblings who've been victims of crime, which again opens up to obviously being a victim of burglary or any crimes like that. If one of the child has been bullied in school, obviously offers support and help and again finish with the holiday. But also helping kids who go on doses as well, kids who help in their communities, kids who are doing well in school, who were helping in school. No one gives them the time of day. They don't get recognised for anything. So we want people to come forward to say, or so-and-so's, he's done this for the community, he helps old people, he does shopping for them, or she does shopping. People like that were helping as well. So is this do you find it's almost, is the word therapy? Have you found this really fulfilling doing all this? Has there ever been any point where you thought, I can't do this anymore because it brings up bad memories? Or is it just giving you even more drive to do it? Well, I've always given myself points to do to keep myself busy because I'm not the type of person just to sit around you and not. It just, I'm just not like that. So I give myself bullet points and targets to aim for. And once I've reached that target and I've achieved that one, then I'll go on to do another one. And that's the way I've kept myself going, kept myself busy. But I've never sat there and said, I feel like calling it a day, or I'm tired of this now, because I want to help as many kids and parents as I possibly can. How many kids do you think have come in to help for help? Putting Kids Fest aside, which obviously we'll talk about in a minute, through the holidays, and again, when it starts off with just the holidays, we only could cater one family, maybe two families if they had a short break during a week. So now obviously Christmas time, Easter time, we offer we get panto tickets, we take families on nights out and stuff like that. So just giving them more things to do. So I think as it stands, we probably helped just over 260 families since it started. That's a hell of a lot. Obviously some families are small, some families are bigger. Yeah. And then this is where the idea came for Kids Fest, wasn't it? Which is Kids Fest, but it's predominantly a community fun day. It's free to enter, there's main stage activity. So we'll have people from The Voice, X Factor, The Voice Kids, Britain's Got Talent, we've had people in there. And we get them, obviously, most of them to come and do it for free of charge. Obviously, cover expensive if they're from far away. And it's just there's fun fairs there, there's everything, dance school, there's everything there, and it's grown, it's getting bigger and bigger. Guys, you need to check this out. We're going to put the links underneath the podcast and everything for everyone to check out. So with the charity work, I've got to say, to have you using this negative and turning it into a positive is inspirational for anybody watching. I think I can speak for everybody watching. You are a beacon of hope for anyone that's going through a terrible time. It doesn't matter what it is. If someone kind of can't see light at the end of the tunnel, which I'm pretty sure you felt at one stage of your life, on more than one occasion, you're giving people hope to say, you might be going through whatever, but you can bounce back. You can do this. Yeah, you can't change what happened, but keep going.
like it's James's 30th birthday.
Yeah.
You're going to celebrate it like it is his birthday.
But I won't be celebrating. I think celebration is the wrong word. I've always said Mark his
birthday.
marking what would have been James's birthday, and I think we picked March because of that reason, because it is James's birthday, and I want not just me to remember that day, but everyone. And when we're sitting in that room that night, everyone in that room is there in memory of James.
Yeah. And
it's not a depressing or, you know, a dark night. James was not that type of person, and I don't expect that feeling to be rubbed off onto anyone else, because he was never like that. We want to give people the spirit in the room. It's full of laughs, jokes. It's just an absolutely great night where everyone can let their hair down. I haven't got to worry about anything. We're all there for one reason, and that one reason is James, but we're also there to raise money and awareness in James's name to help other people.
Yeah.
But it's such a lovely night to do it, isn't it? I mean, it
I
gives everyone the opportunity to dress up as well. The women love it. I love getting dressed up. It's the only time I think I do it.
So do the men.
The men do actually look.
What are you wearing, Stuart?
Well, similar to how this anyway.
But it's a lovely night, and I mean, everyone has smiles on their faces. You wouldn't think that, you know, the person that is for is not in that room. Yeah. Because he is in that room, even if it's just a picture, he's still in that room.
Do you put so how do you, sorry, just let me turn this stupid thing off. How does the night go? Do you kind of upload pictures? Is there kind of like a...
Yeah, we kind of have a set format. Obviously, everyone arrives, champagne reception, welcome all the guests. I'm usually front of house, obviously, and I can welcome people in.
Stuart, you mentioned before that you've had people from Mexico come to the charity dues and stuff.
Yeah, it's do you know what I mean? It's really good, like seeing like the support for the charity in James' name. So in the past we've had obviously people from Mexico, Germany, Sweden, again obviously Liverpool, London, Brighton, Glasgow, Islands. Yeah, so they all come across. Yeah, so there's different spectrum of people there. But everyone just has such a great night. Yeah,
sorry about me coming from Bolton.
Everyone's welcome.
You'll be fine.
Even the riffraff.
Yeah, we'll put you on the far side, you're okay. But again, we have such a great night. We have like a video obviously about James and like what the charity's achieved in the last 12 months. And then we have a great night with many artists. I mean, in the past we've had Kim Marsh come out of retirement to support the charity. We've had 911, we've had 5... Jake Quickenden, we've had many people like
last year we had Ray come in, our very own Scouser.
Oh yeah, he's lovely, isn't
he is. Yeah,
he's just become one of the latest ambassadors, hasn't he, for us? So again, we try and do.
We've got to mention Chris Maloney as well, because he's our patron. You know,
he's cute.
He comes out to perform for us.
Yeah, he's been well of late, has he himself? So it's such a great night, and then basically, even at the end, like people are saying, so what's the date for next year's one? Because people want to know about it straight away.
Well, within, I think it's 2 weeks of us having that night, we're back in booking for next year.
Really? Is that successful?
Yeah. We have to plan it that
and
far.
And everyone's leaving on a high. That's so good.
Yeah. And each year we try and break the record, don't we? Who's last up to...
But I mean, we like to let people know as well where the money's going, because... I think a lot of charities, people are seeing money going in but not seeing it coming back out. Yeah. So what we try and do as well is put a video out, because we started off with a caravan, and through all the donations from the likes of the Black Tie and all the other events that we hold, we wanted to upgrade the caravan to a lodge, but we've done that now.
You've got a lodge now?
It's so much bigger than the caravan. It's like home from home. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the reason why we've gone for something like that as well is because I know from experience, if you're locked in a room, you don't talk. So if you're in a house, there's upstairs, so you can go and put yourself in a room. No one is there to air you out or anything like that. If you're in a lodge, and we can give these families these free holidays, which we are doing, then if the child's got a problem and they're talking to someone in the bedroom, then the parents can overhear what they're saying.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why. That's the reason why we've chose to.
It's an escape, isn't it? Like it's an escape for people. And again, like, I think if you're going through something, sometimes home is not the best. It's definitely not the best place to sometimes reflect on stuff.
You're around them same surroundings, but if you're somewhere else, it gives you time.
Yeah.
It gives your brain time to think about what you want to do or what you want to say.
What you want to talk about,
And I think it does do you the world of good to get out of that same house. And again, say, in a lodge, there's no stairs or nothing like that. You can't go into the bedroom and lock it. So, I mean, it gives the parents or, the carers or whoever's with them the opportunity to hear what's going on in their minds.
But at the same time, everyone's got they've got the space and everything. Not that you don't feel claustrophobic and trapped. No,
that's it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because when we had the caravan, obviously it was donated by a lady in a family, and it saved us so many. It was brilliant. Kids loved it because everyone used to talk about when you're young. He's like, oh yeah, you stay in caravans, stuff like that. Obviously, technology changed, and so was caravans. Yeah. But it got to a point where we were thinking, do you know what, we need to do something. And again, with everything that was coming in for the charity, what a better way to say to them, this is the new James Bulger house.
Yeah. And
everyone, we took all the ambassadors, because we walked around, obviously, the site it's on, which is based in Blackpool, and everyone fell in love with it. It's just lovely. It's just is like a home from home, and that's how we want it to be.
Safe haven, isn't it?
Yeah.
Denise, Stuart, what's your hopes for the future? What have you got in the pipeline? And is there anything else that you want to bring up or talk about, like mention while you're here?
Just to put people in the picture that every penny that's donated to the charity does go into the charity. All the donations are going to keep the lodge on site of where it is, which is not cheap.
It's just gone on now. It's £7,000 a year now.
Wow.
And then you've got the maintenance of it, and it's just an ongoing thing, and that's where the money's going. Yeah. It's to keep that lodge there. Without the donations, we wouldn't be able to keep the lodge. Yeah.
So this is your main. Is this your main focus? Keeping the charity going.
Keep the charity up there, and we're wanting to grow the charity. We're hoping to get bigger, hoping to get more lodges in other places, so the parents have got...
So you've got more going on,
yeah. So they can choose where they want to go and stay for the holiday, but we're a long way away from that at this moment in time.
But you'll get there. You've done this so far.
As I say,
a lot.
Our main aim now is just to keep the lodge at the moment where it is, and I just can't thank people enough for supporting the charity, for making donations, but as I say, every penny does go into the charity, and it is to keep the lodge where it is.
Fab. What about anything else that you got any other plans? Or?
Just obviously with the ideas Denise was talking about there with the charity, we have many events that we hold out throughout the year. The Black Tide Tiara Ball, do skydive, swim with sharks, kids fests. We've got an idea that's meant to be coming up in June. I think it's June the 27th in Liverpool. It's going to be called A Night for James. So if people just keep an eye out on the on social media.
Yeah.
Once we've signed the contracts and that, it's going to be a great night, and hopefully that will help the charity. And again, we've been told about Denise's book. Denise made sure it was written in there that every book that's purchased, a donation's made to the charity, and it's things like that help keeps the charity running, keeps us growing. Because eventually we say we've got ideas of where we want to take the charity. More taking to like monthly activities, taking families out, kids out. But again, that's down to transport costs and obviously tickets or whatever we need to do. So if there's business out there that want to get involved and support the charity,
definitely
get in touch. Again, obviously you put this on the podcast and
of course,
on the page and that.
And if anyone who wants to come to our Black Tide tomorrow, what would have been James's big 30th, get in touch, and there's still tickets available, but I don't think once we get it out there, I don't think they're going to be available much longer.
No, definitely not. They'll definitely go, won't
just
they?
Thanks everyone for supporting.
Yeah, all the supporters in the past and the future, thanks.
Would you say, that brings me up onto like my final thing, so through all this, would you say, obviously you've got Stuart as being like your biggest support and your children and things, what's the public been like when it's come to supporting you? Do people come up to you still when they see you and speak to you when you're shopping and things like that? The
amount of people that have just approached me and just said, can I give you a hug? Or can I have a hug? Of course,
Yeah.
I mean, if that hug makes their day, then that's made my day, fine. But the support that I've had and continue to still get to this day is absolutely amazing. And, I hope the support continues.
I'm sure it will.
The fight's not done yet. I'm sure there's still a lot that I can fight for. I'm hoping one day I will get justice for James.
I hope you do as well, Denise. Thank you so much for coming on. It means the world. I can't wait to come to the Black Saturday as well. Like you said, any excuse to get a ball gown on and stuff.
Which I still need to get, but I'm lastminute.com anyway, so I always... I mean, it's
if you need someone to do your eyebrows, Denise,
I'm going to roll you to that one.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks, Helen.